Hello. Yeah. It's been a minute, hasn't it? It's been 4 months since I've recorded anything to place onto YouTube. Hope you've all been doing well. Hope you're all surviving and thriving on planet Earth at the time of the Great Shift. The reason it's been 4 months since I had time to create a video is for several reasons. Firstly, I became professionally very, very busy towards the end of last year because I did lots of interviews with various different people on different podcasts. And because of that, a lot of new people found me. So I got booked out pretty quickly. And I've just been seeing people back to back every single day, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 people a day, and helping them with their entity release needs or quantum healing, psychotherapy, life coaching, ego strengthening, emotional mastery, you name it, I offer it. So professionally, I've been really, really, really busy for the past few months. And then 6 months ago, I started training and using a new modality for me. It's not a new modality for the world. This modality has been around for a long time, since the 80s. But it's a new modality for me that I found, which is internal family systems. So for those of you that haven't heard of internal family systems before, it is essentially a psychotherapy modality that helps people to remove trauma from their system. So it works upon the premise that we are a multiplicity of different parts within ourselves. So although we see ourselves as one person, IFS understands that we are an ecology of different parts within. So an example of that is we might have a part of us that likes to smoke, and we might have a part of us that doesn't like to smoke. We might have a part of us that likes to stay organized and is driven and keeps us on task and to track. But we might have another part that just wants to go out and party and have fun. And all of these pieces are what makes up you, makes up the fullness of your soul. And it was actually a client of mine that I saw midway through last year that alerted me to internal family systems because a brilliant book had just come out by an IFS practitioner called Robert Falconer, and it's called The Others Within Us. And he is a prominent IFS practitioner, and that book is all about entities. So it's all about the different beliefs regarding entities, otherwise known as unattached burdens within the IFS modality. And obviously anybody that knows who I am knows that entity release is my specialism. And I kind of fell into it. I certainly did not choose it. That's for sure. I chose quantum healing. I chose taking people into the quantum, past life regression, going on a spiritual journey, finding yourself, healing different parts of you on different timelines, healing different parts of you in different time periods in history, healing different parts of you galactically. But what IFS does is it heals the different parts of you that have grown into being in this lifetime. So I suppose training in IFS for me was a natural progression. And this one particular client that I met told me about this book, and I looked into IFS realized that it was something that I absolutely needed to add to the skills that I have and the work that I can offer. So for the past few months, I have been training in internal family systems, otherwise known as IFS. And I'm now using IFS together in fusion with SCHH. So let me explain what that means. So IFS is a psychotherapy modality that will map the different parts that a person has within their psyche and will help that person to adopt more positive roles within their mind, within how they cope, within how they function on a day-to-day basis. And it will also help that person to remove trauma from the parts of their life where they experience trauma. And obviously my modality, SCHH, is a hypnotherapy modality which helps people to identify where they have entities that have got in through trauma, helps people to identify where they are attached, and they attach to the energetic body because these entities feed off of light. They feed off of energy, and they feed off of our low frequency energy in the chakra system. So when our chakra system has incurred a period of time due to trauma where the light in the chakras vibrates lower. So say, for example, you go through a death in the family, a divorce in the family, you lose your home, you lose finances, you're dragged into a war, or you live through a war, then that's going to affect the root chakra. If you incur any period of sadness or sexual trauma, that's going to lower the frequency of light in the sacral chakra. If you incur any period of time where you are dominated or suppressed or humiliated or made to feel less than, then that's going to lower the frequency of light in the solar plexus chakra, and so on and so forth up the chakra system. So what most humans are walking around like on the earth at the moment is this. And the entities can't fully attach to the root chakra because if they did, we would be dead. There needs to be an energetic interface between us and our planet. And this root chakra plugs down into the Earth Star chakra that then connects down into the big sun that's at the center of the planet. Because our Earth is sentient, she has a sun inside of her. And we are a part of her as we have a physical form on her body at this time. Obviously, we have our own soul, our soul that slots into that physical body. But that physical body on the surface of the planet, on the surface of Earth, is a part of her. Now, all of these people that have suffered trauma in this lifetime, that have got parts of their psyche, that have adopted roles within their psyche that potentially are not the highest frequency roles that they could be performing due to the trauma. When trauma occurs within that person's system and it lowers the frequency of light in the chakra system, it creates a part within that person, a part that from that trauma forwards is either ostracized from the main psyche and that part holds the trauma, or a new part comes online and stands in front of the traumatized part and adopts a different role moving forwards in order to cope with that trauma. When that occurs within people, energetically, the frequency of the light in their chakras lowers. And when that happens, as the frequency of the light lowers in the chakra, they will attract in an entity that will then plug into that chakra, take the light. That's an energetic parasite. And this black spot here represents then an energetic black hole which exists within your energy body. Because a parasite has tapped into that chakra and is taking the energy for themselves. Now, dependent upon where you end up with one of these unattached burdens or entities or energetic parasites, however you prefer to refer to them, dependent upon where you have one, you're going to have certain symptoms, signs, and signals that a parasite is there. For example, if you get a parasite that does plug a cord into the root, they can't fully take the root, but they will live in a hip and they will plug a cord into the root. That person is going to have lower back problems, sciatica, maybe problems with the knees, with the feet, with the ankles, problems with the hips. They're going to be anxious. They're going to feel constantly untethered, ungrounded, fearful, easily frightened, and therefore easily controlled. Somebody that has incurred a trauma that's either made them feel sad or a sexual trauma, that's going to lower the frequency of light in the sacral chakra. And then that person will pull in a sacral entity. And then from that moment on, they will never be able to feel happy again. They will live their life predominantly. There may be slight respites where happiness breaks through, but not for long. Predominantly, they are going to be a very morose and sad and dour individual, always looking on the black side, always looking for reasons to cry and to feel sad, because that is feeding their sacral parasite, who needs feeding every day. Or conversely, they will have a sex addiction and they will have to have sex multiple times a day or masturbate multiple times a day in order to be able to feed that parasite. There's a whole range of different energetic parasites that you can pull in to the sacral chakra. It's one of the most diverse energy centers in terms of the types of entities that you will pull in to this particular area, as is the solar plexus. The solar plexus is the absolute hotspot for humans and energetic parasites on this planet, because the solar plexus is power and control. And that's what all of these entities want beyond anything. They want power. They want control. They want control of us as their batteries. And they want control over their food source, which is us. And they want control over the direction that humanity goes. They don't want us vibrating higher. They don't want in us. They don't want in us. They don't want us to know that they're there. They hide in the shadows. They hide in the infrared spectrum that the human eye cannot see, siphoning our light in a dimension that is not visible to the naked eye, but it is there. It exists. There are many, many, many different dimensions on this planet, and the dimension that contains the energetic parasites that are low frequency is just one of the dimensions of experience that is available on this planet. And those entities, they have to plug into a source of light to survive, because psychically they chose to disconnect themselves from source a long time ago. They chose to not recognize source as the top of the tree, if you like. They want to be the gods of their own universe. And so by disconnecting from source, they've placed themselves in a dimension, a negatively polarized dimension, in which they can play God. And that's what they're doing with us at the moment. They're shepherding us and corralling us and herding us into the places that they want us to go, so that they can continue to feed off of the light that we have. Something happened though around the time of COVID. That's when it bore fruit in physicality, but actually this switch happened a long time ago before that. But the entities that have been controlling the humans in this realm, from their negatively polarized, fourth density. They were taken over by AI a long time ago, galactically, when they chose to make a deal with the AI that had punched into our universe. And in return for the most high-tech technologies that could be found in this universe, the Draco and the reptilian energies agreed to work with the AI, little knowing that gradually, slowly but surely, this AI would take over their bodies, because they needed to take some of this AI into their body to power the new technology ships. And then over time, through these entities attaching to us, and they have got AI within them, the AI has started to move into our bodies. They've placed the AI in the air, in the water, in the foods, everywhere, in the medications, and the moment that that particular was taken, that has allowed the AI to take over many, many people's bodies and beings. And many people on this planet now do not have the ability to think for themselves. They do not have the ability to critically think. They do not have the ability to stand up to the system and say, no, I do not agree with that. And the reason for that is they are now plugged in to the AI hive mind. So we have two timelines playing out on the planet right now. Two major timelines. Yes, there's multiple timelines, but two major timelines. We have the organic human ascension timeline, where humans essentially go back to their roots, start connecting back into the planet, start growing food, start relying on organic foods to fuel their bodies, start growing their own herbs. And if there's anything that's out of balance or diseased within the body, using those herbs from the planet and barks and spices, and using that produce from the planet to bring the body back into balance. These people will also understand the power of consciousness, the power of the mind, the power of manifestation, the power of energy and frequency and sound healing, energy healing, frequency healing. They will understand the spiritual connection, that we are connected to all that is. That is one timeline. And then the other timeline, major timeline that's playing out, is the AI timeline. And there'll be some really good people that are plugged into that timeline. Absolutely. And they're the ones that have taken AI into their body, that haven't done a heavy metals cleanse to push this AI out of the body, that still eat at the fast food joints, that still eat the takeaways, that still eat the non-organic foods, that are still using aluminum deodorants under their arms, that are still using fluoride toothpastes, that are still completely plugged in to the ethos and the way society is going. The virtue signalers, the ones who say what they think are the right things to say to be perceived positively within society, yet they're not actually very good people. Some of them may be good people, but even so, they're not strong enough to stand up and to go against the grain, to go against the tide and say, no, I don't agree with this. I don't think this is the right way. And there will be many good people that are swept along with that AI timeline because they think they're doing the right thing. Many, many, many good people, because of the propaganda and programming that has occurred on this planet. And so for me, my job now as a healer is to, number one, raise awareness on the planet with people in regards to entities, what they are, how they get there, the realm that they exist in on this planet, how they plug into our chakra system, the signs and symptoms of that, how you can then remove them, how you can raise your frequency and vibration and energy so that you vibrate so high, these low frequency beings can't come anywhere near your chakra system. That's my personal mission, I feel. And alongside that, as well as teaching people all of these things, teaching people how to remove entities, teaching people how to use a hypnotherapy modality to remove entities from their clients, as well as doing that, I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, the founder of SCHH, and now practicing IFS as well. So with my clients, the people that I take on, that I choose to work with, I want to be using IFS with them first and foremost to tackle their trauma from this life. And who doesn't have trauma from this life? Let's be honest. Who does not have trauma from this life? Even just from the past few years, all of us have got trauma from this life. So I want to use IFS first to help all of the parts of that person's psyche, their mind, their being, what they are in here, to release trauma and to feel better. Once I've done that, I can then work on them energetically to remove these entities that have got into the chakra system, that are keeping them in a low frequency state. That's the second phase. So phase one is working on the mind through using IFS, getting the mind strong, mind and consciousness strong. Phase two is the energy, removing these energetic parasites that have been pulled in through trauma to take people back to that. Then phase three is these people that then look like that will start to see all physical symptoms and disease in their body reverse. They'll start to take their power back, the power of their mind, the power of their soul, the power of their energetic vehicle, the power of their physical vehicle, the power of their astral vehicle, causal vehicle, mental vehicle, light vehicle. Then the third phase of that, and I'm not sure if I actually have my teaching tool here for that to show it. I think it's gone walkabout because I've been doing quite a bit of teaching this week. But the third phase of that is working with a person's chakra system for all of these rays of light that have split out into different colors, to understand that if they work together, if they merge, they're stronger together. And eventually, and that's a real process, because in order for that to occur, there needs to be a lot of ego strengthening and emotional mastery work that's done with people to get them to raise the frequency of their chakras and to even begin to contemplate vibrating higher so that the chakra system changes. But with my clients that I work with, that's the final phase that we move into. So the first phase is working on the mind with IFS. The second phase is working on the energetic body, removing entities. That's with SCHH. Also with SCHH, which is my modality, we will look at past life regression as well, quantum travel, connecting to the higher self, finding out why all of these different things have occurred in this lifetime, why this person signed up for the journey that they signed up for. So you get the parts work with IFS for this life at the beginning of working with me. Then you get the entity release and the energetic rebuild, and you get all of your energy back, entities removed. That gives you the vitality and wellness back in your physical body. We also look at where you are in the quantum space and healing any trauma that might be lodged in your soul and therefore affecting the physical body in this lifetime. So by the time you've come through SCHH, which includes the complete entity release, energetic rebuild, past life regression, and higher self connection. Once you've come through that, your physical body and energetic body, chakra system, will be looking fantastic and feeling fantastic. Then the third phase of that is moving into working with this individual. Now they've got clean and clear energy, clean and clear chakras, to help them to boost their ego, to help them to achieve emotional mastery so that they can go out into the world and maintain the frequency of their chakras without the frequency of light dipping again, so that they don't pull any more entities in. That's something that you will do with me that differs to working with many other entity release specialists. I understand that it's not just about removing the entities. You've got to fix the root cause that allowed those entities in the first place. And then you've got to work with the energy and the emotions and the mind of the client to keep the energy vibrating higher. Because if the energy vibrates higher, these low frequency energy parasites can't get in. And then the final phase over time is working with that person to strengthen the chakra system. And eventually the final phase of that will be all of the chakras begin to realize that if they spread their frequencies throughout, if they merge, instead of staying separated into the separate frequencies like a rainbow, if they merge their frequencies, then this person will have white light all the way through. At that point, when they have white light chakras all the way through, connected down to the white light sun that's in the earth, connected up through the soul star chakra, through all of the galactic chakras, up to source, then this person here becomes a conduit for source light. And that is ascension. Once this person achieves the high frequency energy throughout their body, which starts with their mind, starts with removing trauma, starts with helping the mind to feel stronger and to adopt positive roles and processes and coping mechanisms, to the point where that person doesn't have to cope anymore. They don't have anything to cope from. They're just existing in a frequency that's so high that everything is bliss. Even when a challenge appears, that challenge is still bliss. And don't forget, as within, so without. Everything that we hold within is reflected outside of us. So if you are somebody that's working towards ascension, you want to ascend, you want to vibrate higher into that positively polarized fifth dimension, the single most important thing that you need to be working on is your own personal frequency. It's about what's going on within. As within, so without. Change inside, and what you see outside of you will reflect that change. Many people are just sat waiting for the sun to release a flash and hoping that that's going to be the only thing that's needed to ascend. And yes, the sun is releasing all of these flashes of light and frequencies, higher frequency codes for our bodies and our DNA to begin transforming. But in order for that light to be able to flow through the body, plugging you into the light, your electrical system has got to be able to accept that surge of light. And if you've got blockages all the way through the chakra system, how do you expect those codes, that energy, to be accepted up your body and being? You know, I take a look at a lot of these ascension sites, ascension symptom sites. And every time there's a surge of light from the sun, there's people complaining about certain physical symptoms, pains in the body. And every time I see people complaining about these certain pains in the body, when a surge of light has come in, part of me wants to jump in there and say, well, the reason that you're feeling that pain is because you've got a blockage in your throat, you've got an energetic parasite, you need to have it removed. Or you've got a blockage in your womb, you've got an energetic parasite there, you need to have it removed. Or you've got a blockage in your stomach, you've got an energetic parasite there, you need to have it removed. But I know that many, many people that are on the ascension path, for whatever reason, and I don't know why this is, they're not willing to even contemplate that there is a dark realm on this planet and that these beings are literally feeding off of us, and that it's not enough just to sit there and meditate every day and wish for ascension and eat plants. That's not enough. You've got to do your inner work. You've got to revisit your shadow. You've got to revisit all of the parts of you, the deepest, darkest, rawest parts. You've got to shine light on them. You've got to listen to them. You've got to hold them. You've got to free them. And then we get to bring all of those healed parts back into a positive system that can then accept the light and vibrate higher. And you know, it's not just enough to go to a remote entity release specialist and say, clean and clear my chakras, please. Because that remote entity release specialist may well remove all of the entities that are attached. But if you haven't done the inner work to remove the fear that you still hold in your body, the sadness that you still hold in your body, the low self-esteem that you still hold in your body, the meanness that you feel in your heart because you feel ostracized, the suppression at your throat because nobody listens, your lack of intuition because you're easily swayed by people stronger than you, religious dogma. If you haven't done the work with your consciousness, with your mind, then these energy centers, even though they've been cleared of entities, within 2 to 4 weeks, will begin to vibrate lower again. Because the energetic body is connected to the emotional body. It's just next door. So the energetic body is connected to the emotional body. And then the emotional body is connected to the mental body. So in order for you to vibrate higher, all parts of you have to be working together as a team. Mind, emotions, energy, body, soul, all have to be working together. So you could have a really great physical body. You could place healing or wellness just on the physical body. But if your mind is a mess because you're still trying to cope with something that was really traumatic that happened to you as a child, then you're only going to get so far. Same the other way. You could have a really great mind that you've spent a long time working through your trauma, helping all of the different parts of you to feel good. They're all working together as a team. Everybody's on board. Everybody's together. But if you're still putting crap into your body and eating processed foods that's full of aluminum, and toxicity and nanobots, and you're still drinking water that's full of fluoride, and you're still eating and drinking foods that are full of aspartame and a sulfamine K, then you can only get so far. You've got to tackle all areas of what you are. The human being is complex. Mind, emotions, energy, body, and soul, and spirit. Because what are we without spirit? So the purpose of this video today was just to update everybody that I am now offering Internal Family Systems, IFS, as part of the process of how I work. And if you sign up to work with me, if you do have significant present life trauma, then I would recommend a course of 6 IFS sessions before we go into SCHH for the entity release, past life regression, and higher self section. If you don't have significant present life trauma, then SCHH standalone will be all that you need, because we do a lot of work within the SCHH process anyway to help you to heal from anything that might have happened in this lifetime. And if you don't have really significant present life trauma, SCHH, just standalone is all that you need to rid yourself of these energetic parasites, understand where they've been, understand why they've got in. We'll rebuild your energy and your aura, connecting you back into the planet. Get all of your chakras working together as a team again. Then we'll do past life regression. Then we'll do higher self section. And then if you wish to continue working with me, then we'll also move into ego strengthening to boost your confidence so that you can cope in this world without getting triggered by everything that another person might say to you. And I will also teach you emotional mastery as well. So how to vibrate at a higher frequency on this planet emotionally. So the people that are still absolutely plugged in, riddled with demons and entities and reptilians, no matter how hard they try, they cannot get into your chakra system. They cannot use you as a battery. They cannot feed off of you. And obviously, I have trained over 1,000 people now worldwide in my modality, which is soul center healing hypnosis, which you can also train in if you go to www.schhhofficial.com. You can buy the training online on that site. And I would be really, really happy to answer any questions or queries that anybody has in regards to that training. Maybe you are an IFS practitioner that's just stumbled upon me, because I'm also an IFS practitioner. Maybe you don't know too much about unattached burdens or entities, and maybe you would like to learn more about what they are, so that when they come up in your IFS sessions with clients, you know how to safely and effectively deal with the entities, the unattached burdens, in the best way possible that's safe for you as a practitioner and also safe for your client. That is my specialism. It is what I have spent the past 10 years perfecting, is the identification, negotiation, transformation, and release back to source of entities and unattached burdens. So if you do want to learn more and you are trained in IFS, come and check my website out and come and train with me, and I'll teach you everything that you need to know. I am going to be creating along the road a little bit, not just yet, but I am going to be creating a bridging course, if you like, that helps people that are already trained in IFS to understand SCHH and to be able to use some of the tools and techniques that we use over here at SCHH within an IFS session to be able to quickly and effectively and safely remove entities. both for you as a practitioner and for your clients. Now, for anybody that's watched this video today, bear with me whilst I cough. Apologies. For anybody that's watched this video today, if you are interested in coming to train with me for a limited period of time, and that is until the end of July, I believe, if you place any training package into your cart on the www.schhofficial.com website, if you place any training package into your cart, and if you type in 2024 in the coupon code slot at checkout, so code 2024 in the coupon code slot at checkout, if you place that code in there and click on apply, that code will take 444 British pounds off the cost of the training for you. So it makes it half price if you're just buying the training package alone. If you're buying a package that also has sessions, clearing sessions with me included in that package, then it will take 444 British pounds off the price of that package for you. That will only last until the end of July. Then after that, that code will end and the training will be full price for the rest of the year. So I would greatly encourage anybody that's been wanting to train in SCHH for a while to buy that training before the end of July, because then those higher prices will be the price of the training moving forwards. Hope all of you are great and you're doing well. And I will be transcribing some incredible quantum sessions for you to listen to moving forwards. I've got quite a few saved up now that are wonderful and need to be shared. Information about ascension and what's going on planet Earth at this time. But what I would say to each and every one of you is, on the back of what I've explained today, remember that ascension is an inside job. It's not something that's going to happen outside of you and to you. Ascension is an inside job. As within, so without. Raise the frequency that you hold within, and the frequency that you see outside of you will be reflected. So ponder on that. Until the next time I see you guys, make sure you keep vibrating high. Lots and lots of love. See you again. Bye-bye.